folks, the Katface Killa here. Today I'm here to talk to you about an action martial arts manga called Holyland. Now Holyland is done by an author named Mori Koji. He's done another manga called Suicide Island, which I'm really fond of, I like it a lot. And then he's also done another one called Destroying Revolution, which, it's in the name, it's about revolution. It's different, okay, and I like that about him. He does different things, so he has a different take on certain topics that come up a lot. Holyland is one of those topics that does kind of come up a lot in anime and manga. It's centered around a guy who was a shut-in, but he decides to start practicing boxing on his own in his room, because when you become a hikikomori, you either don't leave your house or you don't leave your room, and in his case, since he's a high school student, he doesn't leave his room. So he develops very basic fundamentals of boxing, like basically one or two techniques. This helps him come back out of his room and start living his life again. But the hitch of it is, Holyland is actually about street fighting. Now the author does something that I appreciate. He tries to teach his readers things about his subject, in this case street fighting. Littered throughout the story of Holyland are different breakdowns of different techniques, different philosophies, footnotes, things you can take from reading this. You can actually learn a little bit through reading it. You're not going to become an expert in anything, but if you know nothing, or even if you do know something, it's very possible you're going to learn a little or quite a few things from this. And that's a pretty big plus to me in my mind. My biggest knock on Holyland is there isn't really a huge story. Yu Kamishiro, the protagonist, starts living his life again. He was bullied, that's why he became a shut-in. There's just something about his persona that attracts bullies. Reading it, I can even see like, oh man, just the way this guy's walking around and how he looks. This is a guy who attracts bullies. That's believable in that sense, but the story is not super deep or anything. It never gets too crazy. And that's probably the biggest knock on it. The biggest plus, though, is the most important thing, which I think is a more realistic take on fighting. I've stated many times in recordings, when it comes to fighting, it's one of those things that I need to see more serious and realistic than less. And probably in a lot of the stuff I've ever read, one of the most realistic. When people ask me about good fighting series, Holyland is one of the first ones that comes up. Okay, I always mention three of them: Holyland, Shamo, and All-Rounder Meguru. In terms of martial arts, when it comes to anime and manga, I feel that these three stories each offer something different for somebody who either appreciates martial arts and fighting, or who's looking maybe to learn something from a reading source. Holyland's being about street fighting. Shamo being a metaphor for the struggle of traditional martial arts where they have to face evolving into something that they're not really to survive, or trying to remain true to themselves for their original purposes, which is survival. Then All-Rounder Meguru, which is what martial arts has evolved into, and sort of this is what martial arts has become, like the accumulation of all martial arts becoming modernized and just becoming blended in with each other. And the ending result is a type of fighting you see in All-Rounder Meguru. And what I feel is fairly accurate and well done breakdowns of different techniques and philosophies in mixed martial arts. When we talk about Holyland, my biggest problem with it is actually not even the story, which is kind of weak. There's a story, but it's not like you gotta read this for the story. It's there to facilitate you learning more techniques and developing more as a street fighter. The story is not anything other than that. There's different character relationships, there's friendships, there's camaraderie. I didn't feel like super connected to any of the characters or think that they had like deep relationships or friendships, and I was just like heartbroken over any kind of drama that came up or whatever. It's just there. The story, the relationships, the friendships, the camaraderie, all that stuff serves to help propel you, learn more techniques, and become a better street fighter. And it's not just brainless power creep or anything like that. It's coherent and it's competent. This is not why you read Holyland. You're interested about street fighting? Boom, there you are. The end. You want to read something about great character development or relationships, drama, storyline, any of that other crap, we have recordings on our Planet Tyro archives. There's something in there for you if you're looking for those things specifically. If you're looking for a realistic take on street fighting, maybe you could pick up a couple things about it. Holyland. For me, I would say Holyland's a low solid B. I think it goes above and beyond the typical level of other martial arts action sort of titles, but only on the martial arts level. Not in any other area of the story, just that. it earns its place somewhere above average. You're looking for fighting, it's a good title to look for fighting. It's not some hokey stuff, not some you either believe in it or you don't, which that kind of happens to Shamo, I admit it. But 100%, this is stuff that you can do on the streets, or this is stuff that people use in the streets on street fighting. Holyland. So that's all I really had to say about Holyland. I wish I could say more. Pretty straightforward title. Know what you're looking for when you come into it. Don't expect anything else. Maybe the level of drama, friendship, storyline, all that other stuff. Even a little bit of romance in there. A little bit of romantic drama. Maybe that'll pleasantly surprise you, but I wouldn't hold my breath. The fighting though, I mean, especially as a viewer, it's a good viewer experience. So check us out on Facebook, just search out Planet Tyro. Check us out on the web, our YouTube archives, planettyro.com. It'll go straight to our YouTube page. Follow me on Twitter, _oldboy. So if you want to send me directly any kind of messages or ask me any kind of questions, make any kind of comments, tell me how full shit I am, it's there. And right now that's probably what it'd be used for. And maybe I'll see you around.